the intro and then we'll get started.
Perfect. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, good afternoon, Whale Coin Talk community. I'm very excited today to speak with the MetAces project. I have CVN here representing them. He's a co-founder, and we're at the top of the hour. So without further ado, CVN, take it away with your slideshow.
Fantastic. Let me just share my screen. Once again, I would really like to, just show our appreciation for inviting us over into your community and letting us talk about our project. I've got a presentation to share. Let me go and make sure that that's all still being shared now with you guys. You should be able to see that, right? Can you still see my screen? I think
I'm so sorry. I'm having issues with my sound.
No worries. So, you can still see my screen though, right?
Yep, I can see your screen. Perfect.
Okay, great. So again, thanks for inviting us. We've got a bit of an agenda to run through with you guys. I'll talk about who we are and what we're about. Tell you about the casino. That's what we're actually our project's focused on. We do have other elements as well, including a jackpot. We've got a lottery. We've got our Diamond Ant Club. We've got NFTs going. We'll go through the tokenomics. I'll share the roadmap with you guys. And then obviously I'm happy to take questions from your community. So first and foremost, MetAces is actually a play on words. It's MetAces, which brings some of the most innovative games in the Binance Smart Chain space right now. And we've got our very own casino blockchain platform. So we've got roughly 3,000 games for you guys to choose from. They're not obviously built by us. They are from quality providers, roughly 40 providers making up those 3,000 games. And when I say quality providers, I'm meaning guys like NetEnt, Microgaming, Ergocell, those three come to mind, and several others. From us, so we are fully doxed visually, and social profiles, they're all available. We've also been KYC'd by Solid Proof on V1 of the project, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. And right now on our pink cell, that's tomorrow, they've KYC'd us as well. Contract's been fully audited and tested, audited by Interfi. And we'd like to see ourselves as a complete transparent team. So we started with a contract called Wanamoon, which was V1. That was a lottery jackpot contract only. The problem we had there was that we had a lot of people buying the absolute minimum just to qualify for the jackpot, and then they would exit if they didn't win. And it just didn't make sense. Now, we always had the idea of a casino down the road and from a roadmap perspective, but because of the way the contract was going, it doesn't matter what marketing we're doing, it just wasn't doing anything for us, and we needed to bring real utility. So we consulted with the community, and we come up with bringing this forward and doing our migration into where we are right now. But there's a full story that we posted on the metaces.co website that explains the full journey. So if you do want to do your due diligence and research on us, please feel free to read it. There's myself. My name is Clayton. I'm one of the co-founders. I am a product and project director for a big digital agency here in the UK, managing quite successful big companies in the media space and pharmaceuticals, etc. So I'm the tech side of things and innovation side of things. And then you've got Sven, who's based in the Netherlands. He's more the business side of things. He was a European director for a big I think it was mobile networking company. So he's really much business focused, process focused, and bringing that all together. So if I come up with a crazy idea, he'll evaluate the business side of things and then tell me if it's a go or no go. We've been trading together for roughly 2 years. And the reason why we come together to do our own project was it doesn't matter how much due diligence we did. We always found that it always ends up being a completely either a scam or, not what it was promised. So we really wanted to bring the community something that, that we believe in, because we were so tired of being rock bottomed on something that sounded quite cool. So we decided to build a project, and this is where we are today. But it's incredibly exciting to be where we are now. It's been a long journey. It's been a stressful journey. We've had several roadblocks, including a recent rebrand. We were originally going to be called DeFi Bets. And then, unfortunately, a group decided to go register the singular DeFi Bets and went on CoinMarketCap. So that was just as we were about to launch. So we had to put the thinking caps, marketing caps back on, and we've come up with MetAces, which we're quite proud of today. As you know, we are a casino. High level is we've got some of the tokens, obviously our own primary token, which is ACES. But we'll also accept deposits in BNB, Ethereum, BTC, LTC, the list goes on. There's quite a significant list of crypto payment options available. We do have a vast collection, as I mentioned, roughly 3,000 games. We'll be doing loads of free spins, giveaways, including in the pre-sale. So depending if you decide to ape into the pre-sale, depositing a certain amount of tokens will qualify for you free spins. So take advantage of that. We're going to be bringing you guys loads of deposit bonus campaigns, first, second, third, etc. And we'll also talk to you about the Diamond Club that you can be part of if you're part of the lucky ones that can get in. I'm going to go in and just quickly show you the casino because it is actually live. It's not just tangible. Yeah, the casino's coming in 6 months' time. It's live. We've invested quite heavily into this already. And here it is here. So high-level summary, you've got the slots area, which is pretty much as you would expect. If you go into the slots, it's just slots after slots after slot. It's countless, right? And if I keep loading it, it just keeps going. But there's plenty of slots and there's something for everybody in there. Over and above that, we've also got virtual games. These are interactive games that you can play, very similar to like you see on Telegram games that you play, but this is really when you can actually put some money down, and if you win, you can win quite big on them. So they're quite addictive and fun. And then last but not least, for now, we've got the live games where you can play poker, blackjack, and several other games that you would find in any casino with live dealers as well. From a casino point of view, we wanted to give the community two options when they register. One is creating an account where you don't have to connect your wallet at all, because people sometimes feel, I wouldn't say they're wary about connecting to dApps. And effectively, this is a dApp, right? So there is the option for you to register for an account without even connecting your wallets and still being able to play in the casino. Or you can go in and just connect your wallet via MetaMask. Let me go log out and I can show you that. So yeah, you can either connect via MetaMask or you can go sign up for an account. And when you sign up for accounts, you agree to the terms and the captcha, etc. And you can create an account and then go through the validation process. It's that simple. I'll come back to this in a bit, but it really is quite a lot for you guys to have a look at. If you want to have a look at it live, feel free to do so. Right now, we have disabled deposits and withdrawals for the casino. We don't want you spending your BNB before the pre-sale starts. So get into our pre-sale first. And as soon as the pre-sale's over, I mean, if we have a successful pre-sale, we'll probably activate it tomorrow if it sells out quite quickly. If not, we will leave it running until the pre-sale ends. And then when we finalize the pool, we'll activate both deposits and withdrawals capability within the casino. So that's the casino. Going back to the presentation. Next part of this, we've got a 50K smart contract, which is part of the V1 of the contract. And what we've done here is with every transaction or every volume that goes to the casino, 2% of that gets added to the pot of the jackpot. Once that reaches 50K, we will announce a live draw. The draw is completely randomized and we'll prove that live. Make sure that, yes, they have bought, they haven't sold any tokens, because if you sell tokens, it disqualifies you and you lose your place in the jackpot. So one of the key benefits here is as long as you buy, even if you don't want to take part in the gambling within the casino, you can indefinitely be part of this 50K jackpot on every single draw. And when we do the draw, 5 people win $5,000 each. The remaining 25,000 of the 50% that we don't spend or give away, we pump into the chart directly. And those tokens that we buy, not only is it going to, for the community, cause great massive green spikes, but also those tokens that we buy get allocated to the Diamond Ant holders, which I'll tell you about in a minute. There's the weekly lottery. This is another component of it. So this is a wallet address that you can send tokens to. We've got a buyback capability in the tokenomics as well. And what that does is that we will allocate some of those buyback capability and throw it into this wallet to make it more incentivizing for people to have a shot at that. Again, every week we'll do a live draw, completely randomized drawing. We'll pick somebody from that pot, and whatever's in that wallet, they will win. Now, if it's a ridiculous amount of money in there, like 20, 30, 40, 50 BNB, we might split that over up to maximum of 5 people to make it fair so that there's a fair shot for everybody. We're always about giving back to the community. So that's the weekly lottery part of it. The next thing that I'm quite excited about to share information with you guys is the Diamond Ant Club. Now, being part of this club means you gain a proportional share of the quarterly casino profits. You'll also get a discounted tax rate, and I'll tell you a bit more about that when we talk about the tokenomics and how that's broken down. There's a lot of additional exclusive games and contests for these members. We've also got an early access program, which we'll go into more detail about down the line as well. But the main thing here is that not only do you gain a quarterly share of the casino profits, but when we do these big jackpot buybacks, 25,000, those tokens are shared with the Diamond Hand Club members. Now, the criteria to get into the club is right now you've only got two ways you can get in. Either A, buying a minimum of 10 million tokens, which is roughly 1% of the supply. So it's going to be expensive. Or you can own one of our exclusive NFTs. And it's actually quite exciting because for any NFT project, their first major hurdle is always selling their first NFT. And we've actually just sold our first NFT tonight. So we're extremely excited about that because now we officially, we're going to be seen as serious. And I think when you hear about the benefits of the NFT, you'll really understand why this is something special. The other ways that people could have got into the Diamond Hand Club is if they came from the V1 of the contract and they migrated their tokens over and they locked their tokens for either 3 or 6 months, they qualify. And then not only that, we had a very small private sale. We sold roughly 50 BNB. And if they bought 2 BNB and locked their tokens as well, they also qualify for the Diamond Hand Club. So roughly 65% of the V1 holders locked. And about 45% of the private sale people also lock their token. So there's about 120 people in total in that pool right now that have actually locked their token and that are part of this Diamond Hand Club right now. So the Diamond Hand Club, for the default Diamond Hand Club, because there's 2 levels of this. The first level is the quarterly, obviously, sharing of the casino profits, and that's basically 10% of the quarterly profits that is shared between all those members. There is a second pool, which I'll share with you now, which is part of the NFT. We've got a collection of 100 NFTs that are currently available. Not all of them, 10 of them are available on OpenSea. But the first 10 NFTs, if you're the owner of one of those first 10, you will get an exclusive share of 20% of the casino profits. Now, let's do some basic maths. If in a quarter, if we do $1 million worth of casino profits, that's $20,000 in that individual's pockets. Now, the floor price for the NFTs is quite expensive. It's 3 Ethereum tokens for each NFT. And like I said, it's only available to the first 10. After that, we've got 90 that will be added. And that will be a price floor of 2 Ethereum tokens. So the remaining 90 will share 10%, whereas the first 10 share 20% exclusively. And like I said, it is quite exciting that the first one has already been sold. Now, it is very logical. The Diamond Hand Club rules are very, very simple. When these people that have bought into or they decided to lock their tokens, if they sell a single token, they're out the club because Diamond Hands means you hold, right? So we see in about 6 to 9 months, we would foresee that the only way to be part of the Diamond Hand Club is by one of these NFTs. So it will become a very, very exclusive club. Effectively, you becoming a share in the casino itself, which is great. So that's about the NFTs, and I hope you guys are excited about that. Quickly about the tokenomics, firstly from a distribution point of view, 888,888,888 tokens in our supply, and it's a lucky number, that's why we went with it. We don't have any team wallets, apart from the ones that we migrated over from the V1 contract. For full transparency, if anybody wants to ask us, show your wallet ID, I'm happy to do that for validation purposes, and you can see that, yes, the V1 tokens were purchased. Yes, they were transferred. Yes, they got the same rates as everybody else. There's no nonsense going on behind the scenes. But we haven't allocated any slice of the pie to us specifically. In addition to that, 350,000 tokens pre-sale and launch. The upcoming pre-sale, which is tomorrow, is 1,000 BNB. And from a breakdown perspective, the supply is broken down, roughly 66% going to the pre-sale and liquidity. We've got our V1 holders, which I've mentioned, obviously from the first part of the contract. It's roughly 9%, and out of that 9%, 65% have locked their tokens. There's the transfer pool. Now, there are some tokens or holders in the V1 that haven't migrated over yet, so we've allocated a 5% pool to accommodate that. We don't want FUD. We don't want any nonsense going on or saying, yeah, but I've lost my tokens, I've lost the value. No, they haven't. It's there and it's safe. There will be a cutoff time roughly in about 2 weeks' time when whatever's left from this pool will be poured into the casino pool. And that casino pool is what the casino uses to pay out wins, right? So if you're going to be playing in the casino and you win big, that's where that chunk comes from. Then there's a private sale. It's not 4.1%. I need to update this chart. It's actually 2%. Because that 4.1% is based on the assumption that the full 100 BNB was sold, and actually only 50-ish was sold. So that balance there will also be thrown back into the casino pool. And then last but not least, we've got the marketing wallet, which is locked for a month. and that will specifically be used for some of the marketing activities that we'll do next quarter when you see some of the roadmap activities. The token breakdown from a tokenomics point of view, it's very simple. We've got 9% tax on buy and sell. Unless you sell within the first 24 hours, then we'll tax you 20%. We're trying to encourage people to hold in this. It doesn't make sense to us at all. Understand that there's always going to be people that want a quick 1x or 2x and then they move on. And that's fine. But for us, that means when they do sell, even when they are at 2x, it builds the strength of our capability from our marketing, from the jackpot, and everything else that goes with it, right? But the breakdown is quite simple. 4% is broken down into two parts. 3% goes towards the marketing and operations. That's the ongoing marketing, the influencers, and everything else you would expect to see to happen. And then 1% of the 4 goes towards the ecosystem development and the maintenance, because it is quite expensive running the casino. 2% goes towards the buyback to help us counter those buybacks whenever they are needed. 2% gets obviously added to the jackpot, and the final 1% is distributed towards all holders. Last but not least is the roadmap. So Q4, we started this journey with a migration, and the casino development actually started at that point. We did all the marketing preparations. We got our legal entity in Costa Rica set up to facilitate the casino, and where we are now leading towards the end of Q1. The contract, as you know, or as I've already mentioned, has already been fully audited and tested. The contract is ready to go, and the pre-sale obviously starts on Friday, tomorrow at 7 p.m. And the casino is now currently live. Again, I need to take that line out. The minting platform, it won't be a minting platform. We're going to add NFTs directly onto OpenSea because of the limited number of NFTs that we have. It's better for the investor that's investing into the Diamond and Club to choose rather than just minting one and hoping that they get something that's quite cool. But yeah, so that will be available all on OpenSea. Our CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko listing is pretty much ready to go. Like with our V1 contract, that happened within 48, 36 hours and we were live. So our application is all ready and the same process will be followed. We also want to be seen as the multi-blockchain cryptocurrency token. So we'll be launching on Ethereum to start off with, and then multiple other blockchains after that, so that you've got aces in different aspects of different blockchains. A very important aspect for us from a marketing perspective is to get the fiat onboarding section done quite quickly, because with that brings us new opportunity, as well as us having to have the license then. But it brings us opportunity to go to places like Vegas and put billboards up there and say, hey, scan this QR code to play in the crypto casino. And what we will then be able to do is introduce new people that have never been in the crypto space, an easy way for them to buy into a casino that they love doing anyway, because they're in Vegas and other hotspots, and then actually be introduced to crypto, because when they withdraw in cryptocurrency, which is great. So we're going to be introducing a whole lot of new volume of investors or people. We'll also be doing the Diamond and Club development. There's going to be a section there around the development to facilitate all that. And we're hoping, although it says we're almost at the end of Q1 anyway, this Money Exchange listing is probably going to be mid Q2, if I'm being honest. But I'd rather be honest and than pull wool over anybody's eyes. So yeah, we'll launch the Diamond and Club mid Q2. Then very big for us is the sportsbook integration. We were talking with one of the top 5 NFL players on the V1 contract, and we actually put that on hold when we decided to come over to this casino concept, because when we launched the sportsbook integration, having one of the top 5 NFL players in the States as a brand ambassador for us is going to be big news, right? It's not small games. And when I say top 5, it's actually him and his friends. So it's 2 of the top 5 will be official brand ambassadors for the sportsbook. And our negotiations, we're about, I'd say 95% ready and almost signed. It's just the fine detail that needs to be discussed now. The same for the esports that we'll be doing. We'll try and find those exclusive brand ambassadors to really drive this and bring us into that space where we have the whole virtual environment with virtual games and contests and tournaments, not only from the casino side of things with live poker games, but in that type of arena from the esports as well. So we're pretty excited because I don't know if you know, but both the sportsbook and the esports, they, again, multi-billion dollar industries, and we want a slice of that pie. We'll also then be doing additional partner onboarding, which means that we'll be able to bring other tokens that want to be in this type of space without having the cost of, all the development and crazy complex from a technology perspective, and onboard their tokens into our platform to offer the community more in a playable environment. And last but not least, in Q3, the short-term roadmap, we're hoping to do several community meetups. launching the Android and iOS app. We're hoping to do the staking and farming, although that might be done much sooner because we're in talks with some partners. And we're hoping to be at least on one of the top 10 exchanges by the end of Q3. That brings my presentation to an end. I'm going to stop talking now. My mouth is quite dry, and I'm happy to take questions from you guys.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I have a few questions, and then we can elaborate on those more. One is about the NFTs. How can people get whitelisted for the first 10 NFTs and then the remaining 90? And what's the big difference between the first 10 and the remaining 90? I mean, I know you said that there is the first 10 get 20% of the profits, and the remaining 90 get 10%. But what's the difference between the way that they look like and other utilities that they might have?
Sure. So because we have a very limited small collection, what you see on OpenSea right now is pretty much the baseline of the collection. There might be a couple of new clothing aspects that will be introduced, but right now the remaining 90 is going to be replicas of those with custom traits. For example, hats, gloves, scarves, whatever those might be, different eyes, different helmets, different colors of the helmets, etc. The main thing is right now there is no whitelist program, because they are literally on OpenSea, open for grab right now. And as mentioned, we had our first sale, and we'll say it out, they're not cheap, but the idea is that when you are going to be grabbing, being part of the first 10, when you're taking 20% of what this project generates from the casino point of view as a return of investment, never mind the value of the NFT that's going to grow in value as the project progresses, that's insane. Now, the guy that made a smart investment earlier this evening, I take my hats off to him, but I think for many project owners, getting over that first NFT sale is always the hardest hurdle. I think now that we've done it, and especially if we have a successful pre-sale, which we think we will, I think that will start going quite quickly. Now, the main advantage between the first 10 and the remaining 90 is that only the first 10 means 20% of the profits, whereas the remaining 90 will share 10% of the remaining. We're giving away 30% in total, in other words, but 20% will be shared with those first 10 only.
Understood. Will the floor price or the minting price for the remaining 90 be the same price for the first 10?
No. So the first 10 is 3 each, and the remaining 90 will be 2 each. And then from there, if people want an exit, they name their own price because they're the new owners. And I can honestly see that 3 right now will be a steal in 3 months' time when they're going at between 30 to 60, maybe even 90 each.
Certainly, and I feel like you got some of our community members excited about it. Do you want to drop a quick link to me, and I can post it in the main chat?
Yeah, of course. Let me send you the link.
Great. And while you do that, I was wondering more about your private sale and pre-sales. So what is going to be the way to contribute? Is it going to be BNB? And then how many tokens per BNB are we receiving in the pre-sale, and how many tokens per BNB did participants of the private sale receive?
Sure. So on the let me take you through the whole history, because it's important that everybody understands this. The V1 holders, at the time when we made the announcement, the equation was 1.6-ish million tokens per BNB. And because we reduced the supply from V1 to where we are right now, what we did from a mathematical point of view was calculate the total amount of tokens transferred, divide that by 1.6-ish million to get the BNB value at that point of announcement. That was their baseline from a BNB value that they received. So whatever they transfer over in BNB is what we use as a base for all the calculations. So as we said, the price is 350,000 tokens per BNB. V1 got that, private sale got that, and pre-sales getting that. We're not giving any distinct advantage to private or V1 or pre-sale or launch. The only difference, as you know, with launch is if you buy in at launch, you're going to be taxed when you buy. That's the only main difference there. So we did that specifically because our V1 contract the reason why we did the private sale is because we had a lot of beef from a lot of community members in V1 when we did our pre-sale, because we literally sold out in seconds. I was still talking to the community members. I said, guys, what's going on? Is there any activity? And then a second later, one of the mods said, it's done, it's finished. I said, what do you mean it's finished? And it was done, pre-sale sold out. So that was quite exciting. Now, we hope that we have the same type of success and results. I mean, we've got loads of AMAs coming up. We've done several already. We've got more big ones coming up. So we're doing the same form of mass marketing on this as we possibly can. But more importantly, it's not just about the pre-sale and then a pump and dump. That's not what we want here. Now we've really got something that has got utility, it's got a future, and we're not just limited to the crypto space because we're a casino. So all of a sudden our advertising mediums and streams is so vastly expanded, and we can target those niche markets which are out there that most projects can't actually gain or get involved with. So we're excited about that. But yeah, the price for everybody is $350 per BNB. And just to confirm, the pre-sale is actually tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'm hoping we're going to see some faces there and join us tomorrow and say, hey, I'm in, or shit, I didn't get in. Whatever happens, we'll see.
Awesome. And what's going to be the soft cap and the hard cap?
Sure. So the soft cap sets at, hard cap is 1,000 BNB and the soft cap is half of that, so 500. Now, if, no one can predict what happens with this market, if for whatever reason, we are struggling, there is probably going to be come a point tomorrow when we'll say, okay, guys, we need to think about how we're going to do this, and we'll push national marketing as more as what we have to. But if worse comes to worse and we can't do that, we do have an alternative strategy and alternative plans still to get this live. It's just going to take a little bit more time. But we're quite confident right now that we have done more than enough to push us over the line and get us live. And we're planning on going live on Sunday, come hell or high water.
Got it. And you didn't mention you plan on offering staking sooner than you had expected. Is NFT staking going to be part of that?
No, we haven't considered NFT staking, to be honest with you, because right now we don't see the real value from our project concept point of view to do that. We don't see there's any need. I mean, we haven't got an endless supply of NFTs. We could do it with other collections, but the idea with this collection was the Diamond and Club collection. From a staking and farming perspective, we have had several partners reach out to us already, or one in particular that we're talking to, that we may consider joining with them alongside them, because they've already got the contracts and the pools and they established all set up. There's no point reinventing the wheel and trying to do what other people are doing. So if we can join a well-established, trusted community, that's something that we will look at.
So staking for you all would look more like liquidity pool farms or a single token staking with your native token.
Both, actually.
Both. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And tell me about before we move on from the NFTs, tell me about the artwork a bit. Like what inspired the artwork, or who drew these? I mean, they look really cool to me. I like the way especially I like the orange jacket one a lot.
The orange one is actually the one that was sold. So
yeah.
So unfortunately that one's gone. You can try and convince the owner, but I doubt he'll sell because I think he's got a unique one there. But high level summary, the artwork it was a bit of a journey. First we came up with a concept that a guy wearing a suit and it was a dice as a head. And when we looked at the artwork samples that were coming back, this doesn't make any sense at all. The guy was complaining, what do you want me to do with the face? I can't give any structure. It's flat on all sides. What do I do with this? So it just didn't make any sense at all. So we evolved from the dice head to thinking about a slot concept, all right? Because we looked at a slot and said, hang on, when you look at a slot machine, it's got like eyes, it's got it's got your slotter as you would pull it down. That could be ears or whatever. And he says, okay, I can work with that. So he came up with a concept that we think. Now I'll be honest, I've seen similar type of concepts out there. I'm not going to lie. But ours is pretty much unique, custom handcrafted, because it is only 100. All 10 that you see on here is hand drawn. Yes, when the trades come out, those won't be as custom and as unique. But what you see here is pretty much the creme de la creme. Sven, could you perhaps drop in the link for Nowhere so you can share, or maybe share it in the group so they can have a look at them? Or I can share it on screen again. That's fine. I could do that as well. But I was broadcasting anyway. I'll just go back. Yeah, there we go.
And as for the Diamond Hand Club, I was curious to know, you might have mentioned this already, is there a minimum amount of tokens that users need to hold in order to qualify for it?
Yeah, so what we've decided is, let's not kid ourselves. To get into the Diamond Hand Club by acquiring one of the first 10, it means almost a 10,000 investment, right? And that's quite expensive on its own. On the next set of 90 that we released, that's about 6,000, depending on the price of ETH at the time. So what we've said from a holding perspective is if you're holding the minimum of 10 million tokens or roughly 1% of the supply, you will qualify for that entry point as well. And I'm sure that there will be whales that are going to be coming in purely for that incentive, and they'll buy and they'll invest because they know not only are they going to be getting a proportional share of when we do the drop of the 50K, but they also qualify then for, proportional share of quarterly casino profits. And I don't want to put a number on that. I honestly don't know how this will do, but when you look at the stats of what these average casinos are doing, it's an insane amount of money. We are also going to be doing a big drive. Right now, our focus has been on the technology side of things. We did a successful launch marketing with the version 1 of the contract, so we know how to get this far. But really, our next big push is going to be finding really focused and driven casino marketing managers and affiliate partners that can really drive us into the mainstream market. And I think once that happens, you're going to see a lot of new volume, new investors come in that we wouldn't really be targeting in the crypto space. And that's the main aim here. So we're going to be introducing a lot more volume into this. With the casino generating an immense sum of money, it will give us a unique opportunity to do very strategic partnerships with big influencers to continuously drive this. Rather than one-off tweets here and a mention there and a call there, we want to go with a long-term partnership program whereby they are brand ambassadors, if you want to call it that. That's the idea.
Got it. And online casinos are huge. Decentralized online casinos are going to be even bigger. What are some plans you guys have to lower the barrier to entry for people that want to get involved with your project? I have a lot of friends that love to gamble, but they don't really care to learn about crypto or how to connect the MetaMask account or how to transfer fiat to crypto. So what are some tools that you guys are planning on providing for people that want to get involved in this but don't know much about crypto?
Yeah. So as part of our immediate Q2 tasks is our fiat and licensing acquisition. That will allow us to then start onboarding people like your friends that have never touched crypto in their life before, with the opportunity to buy with a debit or credit card. Now, when that happens, they effectively buy into the casino, point one. Point two, what they don't know what's happening in the background is their purchase of, let's say, $100 or £100 or whatever they're putting in is being converted silently in the background to crypto, USDT to be exact. So when you're playing in the casino, even though you're depositing BTC or ETH or whatever token you're depositing, it's being converted into the current price point into USDT at that point, so it becomes stable. And when they withdraw, they can withdraw into crypto tokens. So apart from the onboarding of the fiat and the licensing that comes with that, and the mainstream marketing that we'll be doing, one of the very important things that we'll have to do for these new investors is an educational road piece. So you'll start seeing a lot of videos about how to open up a MetaMask wallet when you've deposited with a credit or debit card. Safety is a big thing for us. We're constantly being attacked. Even right now, it wouldn't surprise me if we're being botted attacked, or one of our community managers has been saying, hey, you've just won X amount of tokens in MetAces. No, you haven't, because if it's not pinned, it's not real. So security, the knowledge, the educational piece for those new people that come into the space and play on a casino is going to be very, very important. And I think we'll be spending quite a lot of marketing money specifically for that and gearing up towards the fiat onboarding process. That's going to be critical for the success of this casino.
Understood. And as far as the number of casino games you guys are offering, is it going to be like me walking into Bellagio in Vegas? Am I going to be able to choose from hundreds of different games, or are you starting off small and kind of working your way up? I think you might be muted. Okay. Yeah, okay. I thought I was having technical difficulties.
I have been talking. It's been showing me I've been talking, but I clearly haven't.
Well, yeah, you're both. Yeah, I thought I was having technical difficulties. I closed out my Telegram really quick to open it back up, and I was freaking out because I didn't want to miss what you had to say, but I also didn't want to make you repeat it. But since the difficulties on, so let's it's okay. Let's run it back. We have plenty of time, so let's run it back and give us the answer to that question again, if you don't mind.
Sure. So where do I start? Okay. So basically, I think the main thing here is when we start onboarding the aspect of thinking about the fiat licensing and the fiat onboarding with the licensing, there is an educational piece that we have to cater for. So educating people into them understanding the safety of crypto, how to open up a wallet safely, watching out for scams, because we effectively bring in people in the dark, not knowing anything about the BSC space or the crypto space at all. Now they've got to go download a MetaMask wallet. Now they've got to figure out how to, what a passphrase is, where can they store it, where can they keep it. There's definitely going to be an educational piece involved for us to educate the new investors coming into the space and helping them understand that it's not just about crypto, it's about the safety aspect as well. So a significant portion will be used from the educational piece, but more importantly, it's about then really pushing further and harder to make sure that we can expand rapidly and touch on as many mainstream markets that we can. I probably missed out a lot of what I previously said while I was banging on to myself and talking, and I do apologize. Yeah, that's roughly it.
Yeah, no worries. And again, so as far as the number of different games you offer, is it going to be just a dozen in the beginning, and you guys are going to work your way up to more games? How's it work?
Right now, yeah. I'm just making sure I can see myself that I'm not muted again. Right now, literally, if you go to MetAces Casino, you'll see that there are literally 3,000 odd games there for you guys to choose from. During testing, I've tried to find a game that I like, and it's so difficult because of the vast amount and array of games that there are. If you're familiar with any other games from the big boys online, AAA.com is one of them. You'll notice that they are very particular with the partners and providers that they've chosen. We have opted to go with the top quality providers across a broad spectrum of providers that are out there. Roughly 40 providers, some of them NetEnt, Yggdrasil, Microgaming. You'll find them on our platform and the best selection of their games. Plus, what's even more insane is even during developments, our partners were saying to us, by the way, we've added 20 to 50 new games. I'm like, hang on, I've not even seen a quarter or even a tenth of what you've given us already. So yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to be challenging for people to find their favorite games, but eventually people will find, they feel, okay, I like these type of games, or I like this provider's games. Yeah, there's literally is something for everybody.
Understood. And you all are live right now? People can just go and play games? And they can get...
Well, yes and no. So Sven and I had a debate about this. Maybe because we've been selfish, and maybe because we want a successful pre-sale. The risk we've got right now, with a switch of a button, I can allow full gameplay in the casino. The problem I've got is I don't want you guys wasting your BNBs yet. Spend it on our pre-sale first, and then come and play in the casino. That's what we're doing. To be honest. I don't want people wasting their money just yet, and depositing right now and then not being able to ape in at the pre-sale. So what we collectively decided was that we are going to allow people to register. They can go check it out. And again, you've got two ways of registering. A, you can create an account, so you don't have to connect your MetaMask wallet at all. Or B, you can go and connect your wallet if you wanted to go that route. Both ways are safe. It's also important to mention there is several security factors built in. We've got two-factor authentication, which we've added. There's email verification. So it is a pretty safe instance overall. But yeah, you can register, you can go have a look at the casino, the vast amounts of games that are available. If, for example, tomorrow come 7 o'clock and we have a very successful pre-sale and it sells out quickly, we will probably allow people to start depositing. What we can't allow yet is withdrawals. And that's because the casino requires ACEs for the withdrawals. So when we finalize the pool, at the same time as what we're doing, the drop to all the token people that haven't locked their tokens, and we send those tokens out like from V1 and from the private sale guys, At that same time, either Sven or I will go in and activate the casino and enable withdrawals. And when that happens, there's liquidity attached to it, and people can start playing and withdrawing as they please. But there are amazing deposit bonuses as well, even for the pre-sale guys. For every, I think it's between 0.1 and 1 BNB, we're giving away $25 with free spins. Between 1 and 2, I think it's like 50. Between 2 and 3, it's like 75. And if you're aping it for about $75, which is the max, there's 2 benefits. You'll get $100 worth of free spins. And if you're aping the max, we'll also do an exclusive draw to one of these NFTs, which you potentially could stand a chance of winning. So that's it's a $10,000 NFT for the sake of 3.5 BNB, which is a tenth of the price, really.
Wow, it's awesome. So the only way to withdraw is to withdraw in the form of aces, or you need aces in your wallet in order to withdraw. I was a little confused by that.
Yeah. So initially, because we're having such a vast collection of pools that are going to be available, BTC, BNB, we need to make sure that within those individual pools, there is sufficient balance for people to withdraw. So while the casino builds up those balances in BTC, BNB, etc., we're going to be allowing withdrawal in aces. So even though, for example, you deposited in, let's say you deposited 1 ETH into the casino and you're busy gambling and you strike it lucky, you did a $100 spin and all of a sudden you won $30,000, right? We're not going to obviously pay you out 10 ETH tokens back because the casino may not have that pool. We do, however, have sufficient liquidity and tokens from the distribution chart that I showed you earlier to pay that out. Then you can sell or you can reinvest or do whatever. You might become part of the Diamond Club then, so it's another incentive for you to hold then or do whatever you can. I'm an avid gambler. I have always been. This is a dangerous space for me because I've so many times I've played. I'll only put down like 100 quid. I'll play and then all is good. And then I find myself, I'll just put 100 more. I'll just put 100 more and 100 more. Before I know it, end of the night, I've spent 500 quid. I'm like, really? But it was fun, right? So it's quite an addictive space. It's a fun space as well. But it's also about responsible gambling. So one of the key messages I want to say to everybody listening is, although this is a very, very fun space, please gamble responsibly. And if you find yourself in trouble, i.e. it's getting out of control, we do have measures in place where we can physically freeze your accounts. You'll get access to your money, but we'll stop you from playing. And that's just being part of the responsible gaming package. We're not here to screw anybody over or give people problems. It should be fun and keep it fun. That's the main thing.
Got it. And how would you gauge if someone is getting out of control? Is just based on how much money they lose in a certain amount of time?
So we can track individual player performances via the admin panel. We can see their spending habits. We can't judge their individual personal circumstances because we haven't got access to that history, right? So if we see the same players depositing extortionate amounts of money, we may reach out to them via email, because in order to withdraw, you have to attach it to an email. We may send out not promotional, that would be wrong to do, but we may send out a message to them saying, hey, how you getting on? You enjoying the casino? And subtly start speaking to them about their gambling habits to try and identify whether this is an actual problem or whether they can actually comfortably, it might be a billionaire just chucking money at it. One of my friends, for example, who lives down the road, he's a multimillionaire. And whenever I go away, we go away as a family with their family quite often, and we go down to the seaside, and you always see those, the slot machines on the seaside and the arcades. He'll happily pop in, £100 without even sweating it, and then just move on to the next. £100, but he can afford it. So I think there's a fine balance between saying, hey, can you really afford to do this? Or somebody that can actually afford and they're just enjoying doing it as a hobby. But we put in the responsible mechanisms and means in place that if somebody does have a problem, they can go to the website. There is a responsible gambling form there. They can fill it out and we will do the responsible thing. We will freeze the accounts, meaning they can not play any games, but they've still got access to whatever funds they still have available for withdrawal.
Certainly. And I do recall you saying that there are a number of cryptos users can use to gamble, not just BNBs, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, probably other blue chips in the future as well. Are you planning on going multi-chain in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Part of the vision has always been to see it as the #1 crypto casino. We can't do that with the BSC space. As much as I love this space, it is full of cheats and it's not really long-lived projects. So the only way we can strengthen that foundation is by integrating across multiple blockchains. So very early after, well, I would say pretty aggressively after we've done this launch, we want to immediately launch on the ETH network and get that up and running as stable as possible. And then we're going to be looking at other networks, Polygon, RVN, etc., and try and get on many of them as possible to further strengthen the overall position of the token. So, and I'm not talking about arbitration between one and the other. I'm talking about stability and growth, because there are certain community members that won't touch BSC and vice versa, you know. So, yeah, we are definitely looking at multi-chain and very, very quickly and aggressively as well. Otherwise, you know, someone else is going to come along, and they probably have been before that have tried, haven't been aggressive with that approach, and have probably failed. So we're saying we have done our research, we have done our homework, and we know those projects that have happened. We want to make sure that we don't fall to those type of mistakes and go out all in and all strong, backed by solid marketing, not only marketing within crypto, but marketing within the casino space as well. So as mentioned, we'll be hiring managers to, well, crypto managers and people in the space from an influencer's perspective and from an affiliation perspective that can grow our affiliate program and so on.
Got it. You know, there are a lot of different projects that are trying to get involved with crypto gambling and making online casinos. Who would you say some of your major competitors are, and what would you say in regard to your project and how you guys distinguish yourselves and stand out in the sea of all these other projects?
Great question. You know, with regards from a competitor point of view, I don't really see people as competitors. They are another project. It's like saying, you know, BTC versus ETH they are direct competitors, but they each have their own distinct advantages. I think where a lot of these devs come along and they start trying to build a casino from scratch, we've done that, check. But what they then go ahead and do is they start thinking, well, actually, we don't want to pay proven provider fees. We want to build our own casino games. That's when the problems really, I think, start, because they're untested. They're from devs that they've got to outsource, build, the technological issues, delays. We decided not to go down that route and rather go with an established crypto authority that has multiple different partners already established from different premium providers and an abundance of opportunity from a choice perspective, so that we don't have delays of game development. That's why we will never claim any of these games are our own. They're not. We won't even consider building our own game, because we don't see points in it. I mean, the only next step we will really go with a casino, apart from the esports and the sports bet or sports book side of things, is probably going into the meta sector, where we can actually walk through a virtual casino with a headset and maybe try that avenue. But I think until the technology becomes a little bit cheaper for the average household to just afford to go buy out an Oculus, it doesn't make any sense right now. So something down the road to think about, but right now, no. From a competitor point of view, I'm all for joining arms and forces and speaking to each other, you know, building communities, building strength. I'd rather have friends than enemies in the space. So if anybody's listening that owns one of these and is in a very similar project, I know that the troubles you're going through, I probably don't know what's coming my way. And if you got advice for us, we'd love to talk to you and, see how we can potentially work together, because we are about community building and partnerships.
Yeah, I think that was a great answer. You know, when I go to Vegas, I'm not just going to the Bellagio. I'm going to Aria, Caesar's Palace, the MGM Grand, Golden Nugget. There's so many casinos in that sphere that people go to and jump from. And I was going to ask about whether you guys had plans for metaverse integration down the line. I do believe that these sorts of projects will be some of the first that we'll see in virtual reality, because it's pretty intuitive. You put on your goggles, you walk around from table to table, you sit at a table, and you start to gamble just like you would in a real casino. So it would be cool to see you guys do that, or I guess think about that somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, as mentioned, I am in the digital space where I'm involved with innovation projects and a digital agency. I do have the opportunity, and I am fortunate enough to be working with guys that are in the space already, creating these metaverse ecosystems. And I do have a potential partner that I'm already potentially going to be speaking to, about this. Surprisingly, to do this, these exact words to me when I had the conversation was, if you've got the technology and the platform that is established, converting that into a meta environment that is fully Intel and immersive from an experience point of view, it's not actually that expensive. He says, so if you've got the platform, which we have to check, integrating that part of it is actually doable for a price that is reasonable, and you're not going to fall on your back. So it is probably something that we're going to be bringing in soon, but I don't foresee it happening in the next 2 quarters at least, because we have so much other things on the roadmap that is more important than that right now to form a solid baseline and for growth, that we have to do that first before we can start thinking about all the fuzzy wuzzy things, if that makes sense. Because that's that's a hype thing, in my opinion. I think great to say, yeah, we've got a meta casino and you can walk through from a virtual experience point of view, and that's all cool. But if we launched with that, how many people are really going to be taking part in it if they haven't got the equipment to do it? That's the real problem here.
Exactly. And I like that answer as well. It is a big hype term. Metaverse is probably the biggest hype term right now in the space. And most people don't have the technology for it. But anyway, moving on to the next question that got me really excited during your presentation was, I'm a big NFL fan, and I'm wondering if you can give us any hints of this. I see the smiles on the cameras. Can you give us any hints on team, region?
All I can say is it's top 5.
One of he's a top 5 NFL player.
He's a top 5 NFL player. Yes,
that's huge.
It is
any
huge.
Major? Well, obviously, most of my friends that do gamble online are doing FanDuel and betting on sports games. So having that sort of endorsement is going to be huge for you guys.
I think so. It's critical. Actually, one of our very, very first angel investors that came in, he came in blind, an old guy. We love him to bits, and we didn't even know about his background story. And it's his granddaughter that's dating this NFL player. We were like, "Whoa, okay, that's impressive." And then we heard that his granddaughter's dating him. This guy who's in the NFL, being a top 5, his best friend, obviously in the same team, is. Again, I can't go into detail, but it's 2 of the top 5 that we are talking to, and we're quite confident that they would onboard and that support, purely because of the relationship that we've got there. And if it wasn't for the relationship, they wouldn't even entertain us. But luckily, we've got that we've got that type of connection there, and it's an early connection. And we do believe that just having these guys on board, it's a game changer for us. It's going to bring so much opportunity and so much growth, insane growth. That's why people who come in pre-sale now, even when we know what's going to happen, right? And yes, we've got the anti-bot integrated. It's going to help a little bit with the bots, but cheats will be cheats. It's one of those things, people want their 1x and 2x, and then they go to the next project. They're fine to do that. But I think the people that really get on the ground floor right now at the pre-sale starting tomorrow, if they just hold until we do the sports book and we announce this partnership, it's going to explode like you've never seen it explode before. These are guys that are pretty much not into the crypto space, but their audience is huge. It's like, if I had to compare it to football here in the UK, it's like having Cristiano Ronaldo as a brand ambassador. Everybody wants what that guy wants, or Messi. Everybody wants to wear what Messi's wearing, or do what he does, or own, or be part of the clubs that he goes to. So it's the same in this space with these 2 guys. They are that well known from their audience and their people that follow them. It's going to have that type of hard impact on us, and it's going to explode through the charts. I can guarantee you that.
Got it, and I agree. I think I couldn't have said it better. These are huge endorsements if you guys can get these big name athletes on board. One last question about it: is there any point this year where people will find out who this mystery NFL player is?
Absolutely, and it will probably be. I'm hoping if we can prove that this launch is successful and we do a very, very quick sellout. If we can prove that at least the first 10 NFT, which I think, to be honest with you, if we do the sellout happens quickly, everyone's going to ape for these NFTs. I can tell you that right now, because it's going to be one of those scenarios. Shit, they had a good pre-sale. They've got a strong community. One NFT is already sell. I best get one right now. It's a little bit expensive, but I can see the value in there, right? So I think with that going, if that all gets on the line, the NFT sales is going to help us secure the part 2 of the platform, which is the sportsbook. Once we've got that, as soon as we've confirmed, right, we've paid for the sportsbook, integration is happening right now, we will then announce who the brand ambassador is. And it's at that point things are going to get really crazy, which is next quarter. So watch the space. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I do think that if you announce, if this player ends up being a really big name, these NFT prices are probably going to moon. I did notice right now that one of them is worth 3.2. What's the reason for that?
Crazy. It wouldn't let me set the price of 3, and it's the only NFT that is not wearing clothing. So I don't know why, but every time I try to list it for sale, everyone else was 3, apart from that one was 3.2. It wouldn't let me set any lower floor price, which was a bit insane. And I suspect if I go add the others now, I might have a problem listing them lower as well. So we might have to create a new collection for the remaining 90. That's probably what we're going to have to do.
Awesome.
What I'm going to have to do, Noah, if it's all right, is I'm going to leave Sven with you because I have to jump into another AMA right now. Sven's going to stay with you guys and answer additional questions. I unfortunately have to leave and then jump into the next one, which is DeFi Apes, I think, Sven.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so I'll unfortunately jump in there and speak to those guys. But from my point of view, and Sven will probably say the same later when he's speaking to you, thank you so much for hosting us. We are really, really appreciative of having your time. And hopefully, please join us tomorrow, guys. Pre-sales at 7 p.m. on Pink Cell. You'll find us because we're trending, so that's a good thing. Very easy to find. Join our Telegram. The links are going to be there. And if you have any questions, please feel free to DM either myself or Sven. We'll be happy to answer, and we always try and get back to everybody.
Yeah, Clayton, it's been our pleasure, and we wish you the best of luck and good luck in your next AMA, and hope to hear from you soon.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. You take care.
Take care, brother.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Yeah, so Sven, I was actually going to open the floor up to community questions because I want to give my community members some time to ask away. So let me start on, so Dr. Aisha had a question. Aisha, take it away.
Thanks, Noah. Okay. MetAces Casino have more than 3,000 games, and these games are from different casino developers and producers. I want to know that how will you make sure that games which you have added to MetAces platform are secured and these games are producing completely random and fair results for players playing them?
Yes, so that's a good question. Thank you for that. We are working with the top notch of the casino game providers. So what you will see if you go to our site, MetAcesCasino.com, then in the bottom you will find a section where you can see all the reports and the test reports of all the games. I'm not sure because I joined later if Clayton mentioned this, but we have no influence at all in how these games do their wins. So the algorithms are tested by the by the providers of the games. Test reports for every game are added in our website, so you can check it out. So that's what we provide for that. We know it's secure.
Okay.
We didn't make these games ourselves.
All right. Okay, you mentioned that one may connect their wallet if user wants to registration and depositing. I want to know that what other requirements are there to be able to play the casino games. I mean, will it be necessary for one to be a native token holder?
So that's a good one. As Clayton mentioned, if you want to withdraw, then in the beginning we have to build the pools for the other coins. So BNB, BTC, ETH. So at start, the withdrawal pool is in ACES. But to be fair and honest, if we fill pre-sale tomorrow, then we will open up deposit possibility for the casino right after that. and that won't be in Aces because a contract goes live on Sunday. So from that point on, you can also play the casino without owning Aces at that moment.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you for answering.
No worries. Thank you for your questions. Appreciate it.
Great. Next question is from Said Rahmat.
Yeah, thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah. So on your white paper, just mentioned, also your friend mentioned about weekly lottery, where holders can deposit their tokens for a chance to share to win, and there will be maximum 5 winner. I want to know that will the holders who deposit more native tokens than other holder will have more chances of winning this weekly lottery? How will this work out?
So that's a good one. A very good question. So yeah, what will happen is that the amount of tokens creates the amount of entries. So there's an algorithm loop that goes around when we do the draw, and I'm gonna make an example. If you drop in 1 million tokens and another one 500,000 tokens, then in that loop, you are 1 million times in that loop, and the other one is 500,000 times in that loop. So in the end, you stand a little more chance. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So also relating to this, will there be any minimum deposit limit one need to make to enter the weekly lottery, and will there be any maximum limit?
So I think we will set some limits on it. To be fair and honest, we didn't decide on the limits yet, but there will be probably some limits. I'm not sure if there will be maximum limits, but there will be minimum limits.
Okay, and about the rewards who win in this weekly lottery, will they be distributed automatically, or one has to claim them?
No, that will be distributed automatically into your wallet.
Okay, got it. And one more quick question. So you mentioned about sport book integration, betting on different games. So which sports are you planning on to allow users to bet on?
Which sports? A
Which
lot of them.
be
Yeah.
able to
So
bet on?
a very extensive amount of sports.
Yeah, that would be really great. Thank you so much.
All right. No worries. Thank you for your questions.
Great. Next question is Svader. Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Hi guys, it's Zvato.
Zvato. Hello.
So I wanted to quickly ask. Well, I'm from Nigeria. I kind of noticed the issue with KYC. So most people from Nigeria or Africa have issues with KYC. I needed to know how do MetAces go about with KYC and all that. At the
All right.
level, at the
Yeah,
level to KYC.
I understand where you're going, right? So if you want to withdraw, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. So, well, we have some KYC measurements in place, and fair and honest, Clayton and myself had a discussion about that earlier today. So we're looking into that, how we can make sure that people can withdraw. We'll legally have to do some KYC stuff in the casino to make sure that that we at least meet all the requirements. But yeah, so it won't be. You don't have to be well. How should I say? You don't have to meet everything, every detail of your life. It doesn't have to go there, but we need to know who you are and where you come from.
Okay, thank you very much. Because this also happens to be somehow like a threat to people from around here because they really want to be sure. So that was why I really asked the question. But thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I understand that, and we're all in crypto, and yes, I'm on Cam now, but most of them are in crypto, not showing themselves and not wanting to let people know who they are and where they are. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
Okay, that'll be all. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right, Sven. Well, I really wanted to thank you for being with us today. I think crypto casinos are the future, and it seems like you're building quite the robust one. If there's anything you wanted to leave us with or recap for us before you head on out, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I wish you a great day.
Yeah, so I want to thank you all for joining and having us here. It was a little crazy for us. Normally we do the AMAs with the two of us, but because our pre-sale launches tomorrow, so we had to split up like we do now. But I hope we gave you a good view of what we built for you. I think the casino will be awesome and has some games for whatever people like. I mean, 3,000 games. There will be one you like, probably, and even more. So I invite you all to join us in our Telegram and on Pink Cell tomorrow, and join our pre-sale. And after that, once we fill our pre-sale, we'll enable a deposit possibility for the casino, and we can all play there. So once again, thanks for having us. Have a great evening or day, and hopefully see and speak to you soon all.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for being with us. And anytime you want to come back and do another AMA down the line when you
Absolutely.
you guys
So, well, that's an interesting one, because I think we will do that, because this is not gone in a few months. So let's catch up in a while and see how we're doing at that point, and where's the price point of our NFTs at that moment? How's the casino doing? And maybe we can do a reveal of the NFL players here. Who knows?
Certainly. I'd be very excited to hear more about that and talk to you when the time comes. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, and speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care.